this. Maybe it's taking on. All right, just give me a second here. I don't know why it's not pulling up. All right. And let me try back it now. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's taking so long here. Let me try backing out.
You're all right.
Okay. Let's try this again. All right.
You may have to download it maybe and open it because sometimes it won't.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't come out right when I download it for some reason,
Oh,
but yeah, it was acting fine a minute ago. Um, Let me do that. Okay. Well, here we go. All right. Well, I tell you what, okay, maybe I just might have to do it this way. No, it's not acting right.
try to start your slideshow. Hit where you were. Yeah, right there.
Uh,
That works.
all right.
Looks like it's trying.
Yeah, it's taking its time. So I tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of talk my way through it. Hopefully, I don't mess it up too bad. Maybe it might pop up while I'm talking here. But as everyone knows, yesterday was MLK Day, and of course, it's one of our most important holidays that we have here in the United States. And everyone knows Martin Luther King for the great things that he did. He fought for civil rights, he fought for justice, he fought for equality. But one of the speeches that everyone knows about is the "I Have a Dream" speech. And in that speech, he talks about, I think one of the most important aspects of that speech, he talks about the content of character. The content of character, about not being judged by the color of your skin, but by the content of your character. And the reason why that stuck out to me when I was young, of course, I didn't pay attention, but the older I got, it really stood out to me because
Oh, it
really
looks
quick, I just want to
looks like
set
it's
the
up, Mr.
tone.
Hill.
I'm sorry.
I said I think it's up, Mr. Hill.
It is, but I'm clicking on it. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
responding. Yeah. So yeah, it's not responding. So I'll just keep talking here. But one of the most important aspects of that speech, again, that stood out to me was when Martin Luther King spoke about the content of character being the most important thing that someone should be judged on. And so, yes, here we go. And so, in that speech, he said, "I have a dream that my four children one day will live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." And so, I just want to set the tone with that because it doesn't matter what your skin color is, it doesn't matter your hair texture, the sound of your voice. It doesn't matter how tall you are, your height, any of those things. At the end of the day, the most important thing that people are going to remember you by is the content of your character. The things that you do, the things that you say, the way that you treat others is the most important thing that you'll learn about life as you get older. And that's what people are going to remember you by. And so this is still not responding. Okay. And so really quickly, just to get a foundation of what the content of character is, and I kind of pulled this from the internet. The content of character is your core values of honesty and integrity, respecting others, taking responsibility for one's actions, being fair and just, and being someone who promotes love and compassion in others. And I know that word love sounds mushy, but that's something that we all have to have inside of us And at the end of the day, these are the things that make you who you are. These are the things that people will know you by. So if I can go back just a little bit, sometimes you may be asked the question, who are you? Who you are is how you treat others, the things that you do. So again, are you honest? Do you have integrity? Do you respect others? These are what make you who you are. And it starts from the inside out. So what are some bad contents of a bad character? What are contents of a bad character? I'm sorry, I'm thrown off a little bit with my presentation here. But what are contents of a bad character? So I was thinking about the Marvel Comics movie everyone knows, Thanos. Thanos was a bad character. And so what made Thanos a bad character? Well, Thanos was a bully. We talk about this all the time in school. No one likes a bully. No one wants to be around a bully. Thanos was a bully because he was always beating up other people. He was always treating others bad, mistreating anyone just to get what he wanted. And so that's something that we don't want to be as a bully, correct? He was selfish.
Yep.
I heard a yep in there. He was very selfish. And Thanos was selfish because it didn't matter who he hurt. It didn't matter what the cost was. He only cared about his own desires. He didn't care about anyone else's feelings. It was all about what he wanted at the cost of other people's feelings, at the cost of other people's pain. That's something that you don't want to be. You don't want to be selfish. You want to be kind. You want to be generous. You want to share with your friends. You want to share with your classmates, with your brothers and sisters at home. You want to help them. You want to help your mom, your dad, or whoever it is that you might live with. You want to care about others. Thanos was not responsible. He was irresponsible. With all the power that Thanos had in the universe, he used that power for bad. He didn't use it for good. He was irresponsible. And so this made me think about Chromebooks. I think it was last week I was hearing a lot about a lot of our students. Their Chromebooks were broken, and I'm not sure how that happened with some of you all. But with your Chromebooks, you're going to need to be more responsible. And not only with your Chromebooks, but with anything that is given to you that's important. You want to be responsible with your education. You want to make sure that you're doing your work. You want to make sure that you're studying at home, right? Doing all the things to get to that next grade level. You want to make sure that you get to middle school and then high school and then eventually college. But it takes being responsible. 4, Thanos was disrespectful. He would go into other people's worlds. He would go throughout the universe, destroying everybody's world, just taking whatever it was that he wanted to take, doing whatever he wanted to do. It didn't matter who he hurt in the process. It didn't matter that it wasn't his. He felt that, you know what, I'm going to do it because I want to. He was disrespectful. He didn't care about other people's feelings. And that's something we often talk about in the classroom. When you're online, when you're with your teacher, you want to make sure that you're showing the utmost respect. You want to make sure that you're following directions. If your teacher asks you to turn on your screen, turn it on. If they're asking you to mute yourself, if they're asking you to participate or turn in your work, you want to be respectful, not only to your teachers, but your parents, your siblings at home, your friends. And so these are aspects of a bad character. These are contents of a bad character. And these are things that you should never have in your character. You want to make sure that you have good contents, in which we're going to look at next. Okay. Well, I'm stuck again. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of those good contents. Some of the good contents, and maybe it'll pop up while I'm talking, are the opposite of what Thanos has. Good character, you're going to see someone who's loyal, someone who is a good friend, who's dedicated. And I thought about some of those Marvel comic characters, such as Hawk, He was a great friend to Captain America. He was always there. He always had Captain America's back, no matter what. I also thought about Bucky. If anyone knows who Bucky is, he was a little crazy at first because he was brainwashed. But Bucky was one of the best friends to Captain America as well. He was always there. Even before Captain America became famous, he was his friend. So it didn't matter how famous he was. It didn't matter what Captain America could do for Bucky. Bucky was just his friend. And that's what we should be. We should always be loyal to our friends, willing to help them no matter what, not always looking for a benefit, right? Another aspect of a good character is being a leader. You want to make sure that you're a leader in the classroom, that you don't follow the crowd. I was always told when I was young, Mr. Hill, I was always told not to follow the crowd. Just because everyone's doing bad, you need to be a leader. If not a leader of other people, be a leader for yourself. When everyone's doing the wrong thing, you should be doing the right thing. And it takes being courageous. It takes being brave. Sometimes being a leader is hard. Sometimes doing the right thing is hard, but you have to be courageous. When you're brave and courageous, you can do the right thing. And let me tell you something, it takes a strong person, a strong student to do the right thing, okay? And I think another one that I had was being responsible, okay? Again, we talked about the Chromebooks. We always talk about being respectful, responsible, and safe. When you have your Chromebooks at home, you want to make sure that you're not abusing your Chromebooks. You want to make sure that you're not looking up the wrong things. You want to use that Chromebook to make sure that you're doing your work. No matter what it is, you want to make sure that you're responsible with whatever your parents give you, your teachers give you. Okay. And also another one was being smart. Being smart doesn't mean that you're always going to make an A. It doesn't always mean that you're going to be the best student in the class as far as grades. Being smart is simply just making the right decisions. Being smart is doing, when everyone else, again, is doing the wrong thing, you choose to do the right thing. That's what makes you smart at the end of the day. And honestly, those are the people who go far in life. It's not always the person that makes the best grades. It's not always the person that gets the highest scores. Usually the smart person is the person that consistently makes the right choices, no matter what they're faced with. Okay. And so it's not going. So anyway, I'm going to summarize the lesson for today. And so just remember that it's the content of your character that you're always going to be remembered by. Again, it's not your skin color. Right now in our nation, where if you turn it on the news, you're constantly hearing about racism, you're constantly hearing about injustice and all these different things. You know what? It can be a trap. Don't focus on racism to the point where you lose your identity. Focus on your character. Focus on who you are, the way that you treat others, the way that you love others. Focus on being kind. Focus on respecting one another. Focus on helping other people. That's what everyone's going to remember you by at the end of the day. It's going to be the content of your character. It's not going to be your skin color, your hair texture, all those different things. At the end of the day, it's going to be what's on the inside of you that matters the most. And that's what you should focus on. Okay. Second, take your time. Stop and think. If you want to make good choices and have a good character, sometimes it's easy to make bad decisions, right? And so you want to make sure that when you're faced with decisions, difficult decisions, Mr. Hill said this before on another presentation, take your time. Think about the things that you're doing. Think about the consequences. Think about when you bully someone, what's going to happen, not only to that person, which is going to hurt them. Think about what's going to happen to you. Think about the consequences of that. Think about how you want to be treated, that you want others to share with you. You want other people to respect you. So when you're making a decision, think about the consequences, good and bad. And then finally, if you make a mistake, and I've said this before again, if you make a mistake, learn from that mistake. No one's perfect. Mr. Hill's not perfect. I think I have a good character, but it doesn't mean that I make good decisions all the time. Sometimes Mr. Hill makes bad decisions. Sometimes your teachers make bad decisions, but it doesn't make you a bad person What makes you a bad person is when you don't learn from your mistakes. Good people learn from their mistakes and they do better the next time around. And so that's the lesson for today. I apologize for my slides messing up here, but I hope that you all have learned from it. And just remember to have good character, good character.
All right, thank you, Mr. Hill. And I'm glad that you put that in at the end, that just because we make mistakes doesn't make us a bad person. We need to learn from those mistakes, because those are the best teachers a lot of times. All right, so we are going to have, once you go to your class meetings, we're going to have your teachers do the I promise. Everybody has that in their Google Drives. It was shared with them. So we're going to have you all do that in your classrooms, since we're running just a little bit behind. So we're going to do our 3 school expectations and the pledge, and then we're going to get you all to your class meetings. So let's get a couple of you to come off mute and tell us, what are our 3 school expectations? I am
responsible,
respectful, responsible, and safe. Awesome. Way to go. All right, go ahead and mute yourselves back. We're going to do the pledge. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, can you all be the change?
You changed the world.
Change the world. All right, Marcus. All right, you all have a great day. Get ready to log into your class meetings. You all are going to do the I Promise book in your class meetings. See ya.